Alright, so here I have a drawing of a fish character that I drew. And what I did is I separated all the layers so that I could animate it and have each part move on its own without blending. Once I bring it into Anime Studio Pro, also known as Moho. Alright, so if you look, I have just the torso here. It's still trying to load. That's pretty slow. But I just have the torso, but then you could see all the individual parts that I created, including the face, the eyes, the glow of the eyes, the arms, legs, the tail. So what I do is I have that all separated, and you could see all those pieces are labeled. Now what I normally do is I'll take that program, the file, and I'll just drop it right into here, and those exact layers form right here, and the same name of the character. And as you can see, it's in PSD format, which is Photoshop document, and that's perfect for Anime Studio Pro. That works with bitmap images really well. So now that I have that there, one thing you might think is, oh, well, I'll just create a skeleton and have it move, and then I'll just move the arms like that and just go like that. But here's what happens if you do that. You get all this warping going on because the program needs to know that these layers are all separate from each other. So I'm just going to delete all these skeletons, these bones, and you just click on that and delete them and get back to square one. And what you want to do, actually I have one more to go. What I like to do is go into the individual arm and pull that over here and just zoom out a little like that, and then go pull that arm. You gotta click on that arrow button to move stuff. Alright, and then just move the tail there. The torso I'll leave where it is. The leg I'll move there, and then you do have to piece this all back together again, but it's pretty easy as long as you remember what your character looked like. And then for the jaw and the face, I'll just press shift. I'll click on the jaw and then press shift and hold shift down, and then I'll click on the eyes glow. So all that moves as a single piece. Although with the jaw, you could actually rotate it. That might be easier. There's not a lot of room for it actually, so I think a rotation would be better. I should have expanded that top part of the jaw further up. This way you could really open his mouth further. But that's fine. So really quick now, I'm going to add the bones for this character, and I have to click on the top icon there with the bone. And now I'm just going to start here. I press down and then drag, and then I let go and then press down again. I like to get 3 pieces for the torso, and then for the head I just go 1 piece like that. And then now that I'm connected to the head, I'm just going to go with the jaw and just bring that piece down there. Now to get the arms and everything else, I like to click on the shoulder bone and then just click on the bone like that and just get a general placement for the arms, and then click on the shoulder again and then go with the other arm. These arms are a little weirdly proportioned, but I think it'll be alright. Then for the leg, I click on the hip bone, and then just click on that and move that there. And then there, I click on that and move that like that. That bone might be a little messed up there. I gotta redo that. Wait for it to load. There we go. And then continue from there with that, and then that like that. Then finally the tail, I'll just go like that. Put a whole bunch of little bones in there, this way it's flexible. And now I bring it all together and I'll test it out. So I'll pull that there. I'll pull this jaw over here and then bring the head back down there. Move this arm over a little bit and then move that arm like that so it's further in. Move that leg up to there and that leg over there. The tail back to there. Alright, I think that's pretty close to what I was going for. I'll just zoom up a little so I can get it in frame. And now I'll start the animation process. So now that the character is together, let's test it out, see how it animates or moves. Alright, so that looks really good there. That's the pretty good rotation and all that. That works out. The head looks pretty good. The jaw, I think that's pretty good. And then the legs, let's see how they turned out. It looks a little weird right there. It's not terrible. This leg actually looks better, but I need to move it forward. And then the tail, move that down a little. It's way too high up. So I'll just go right here, click on there. The arm's in the way, that's why. And then that piece go right there. That piece will fit nicely right there. And then the tail, probably right about there. And then bring that arm back on there. Alright. And this arm is back there, so bring it up a little. That was weird. Why did that whole upper part shift like that in this? Alright, so let's get that leg set up right. And I'll just go into that tool there. The leg, I'll just bring down to there and move it there. And then this piece here, actually I'll move that up a little. That piece there, I'll move back. And then that piece there, I'll just move like that. So now if I test it, let's see. Yeah, that's better. This knee shouldn't bend and warp. It should be nice, smooth effect there. And then the leg, I think it could get a little closer here. The tail, Oh, okay, that's his arm there. Alright, so I'll just press save, make sure I don't lose any of that. And now under, let's see, under window, I like to click on actions, and that brings up this box, which is really critical if you really want to save time and not have to reanimate the character walking for every single time you bring the character into the scene. That's what actions are for. So I'm going to click on this button here, new action, and I'll call it stand. And now I just have to click on all the bones to make sure they're keyframed. And the reason for that is so if you move something later on, it won't start from that new point. It'll start from this original point here. And this way it's not all messed up. And then I do click on this piece here. This is the movement. Translate bone. This moves him up and down, left to right, and all that. I just like a keyframe there too. That's for his pivot point for his whole torso. Alright, and now what I'll do is start with the leg. Alright, so that's wrong. Alright, now that all those are keyframed, within a second I like to have a walk animation. So now that I have these three set up, I'll go to the middle frame, between the first frame and the middle frame, and now here's where I'll have one of the legs fully forward, one of the legs fully back, like that. And now this arm, since it's opposite of the front leg, should be back, and this front leg, the back arm, should be forward, like that. This seems off, this arm. So if it's off, there's still time to fix it. You go back to the main line, double click, and then you got to get that window back where this is. Did I say that? No, I said this arm. So bring it back down a little bit, maybe like that. Now I'll go back to the stand and I'll check, make sure everything's not too messed up. Alright, that's alright. And now the tail, I'm going to bring that back. See, I should actually have the tail right here. And then keyframe that. You just right click or a top click or whatever. It'll bring up that little sub menu, which is really, really helpful. And I'll just paste over those. This way I got that tail out. Alright. And now I do want his upper torso to move a little bit. I don't want it to look too static and boring. And then for this, I just bring the torso down a little with that tool there. And that'll move him down. So it's not like standing in one spot because he's moving all over. Alright, now I'll go to this frame here. Wait, I'm supposed to be doing a stand animation. This is walk. Alright, well, I'm ahead of the curve here, so I'll just go with it. And now I'll pull this leg fully back, pull that leg fully forward. And now that arm goes fully back like that. since that leg's going forward, this arm goes fully forward. No. This arm goes fully back. No. Fully forward, yeah. Alright, so I think I messed up on the other item. Let's see. Yeah, I did. I messed up. This arm's going to go forward. Sorry about that. And then this arm has to go fully back. Since, yeah, that makes more sense. If the front leg is back, the front arm needs to be forward. If the front leg is forward, the front arm needs to be back. Like that. That makes more sense. That's how people walk when their arms are moving in a normal pattern. Alright, let's see what else. So now that that basic motion is completed, that looks pretty rough. I don't know what happened there. This leg is really limited. It can't go too forward. The legs seem really short. Maybe because his arms are really long. And then I do have to... Alright, now I have to lift up this leg and bend it. Yeah, this is way off, this leg. It's just too high up. I don't know how I messed this up so bad. It should be a lot more forward. So then that moves there. And then this part right before that leg shifts forward. I just like to do that and move that up like that. This way it looks like he's about to lift up his leg and then boom, it hits like that. And that other part, well, let me fix this first if that's even possible. It's hard to see what's going on here, so that's why I messed it up. That leg should be like right about there. That's why it looks so short. And what's that tail? It looks like the tail is way too forward or something. I don't know. Oh no, that's his claw that I'm seeing there. That claw, that hand really messes up the visual of what I'm looking at here. Alright, hopefully that worked out. Sometimes when you move stuff later on, it gets all messed up. Let's see how it held up. Oh, that's better, yeah. Alright. So now I have to think, alright, if that leg is going back and that leg's going forward on that frame, I'm going to pull this leg and bend it right there. And then his arms at this point, I could go like that. His head, move it up a little bit. Now what I'll do is copy that to there, and then I'll just reverse that one, and then now it's going to make a little more sense as I reverse these legs for this frame, and then move the torso and the arms slightly so it's not exactly the same, and the tail. I'll get to that in a minute. But now you could see he's starting to get a good walk going. Now this last frame is exactly like the first, so we don't want that, otherwise it's going to look like it's stalled when it loops. Alright, so here's this. Let's see. let me pull that leg flat a little better. Right there, it should be flat a little more. There we go. This way it looks like he's walking. Alright, now I can focus on the tail. This piece, let me get that like that. And I will adjust that in just a minute, but let me get the tail. Alright, so if he's going further down, the tail I think would flail up. So let me maybe go like that. Because he's at the peak of his fall and the tail hits down. Now suddenly the tail is heading towards the ground, so I'm just going to have it kind of like go like that. So there it is, and his tail flicks, and now it's going to flick down here all the way, I think. And now I have to bring it back up to the starting point. So that will be going up. So one thing I could do is, since it's going up, I'll just bend this like that. And then that tail there, I'll pull it down a little more so it's not aligned with the first frame. But these legs are exactly the same as the first, so I have to click on a frame before or just 2 frames before, and then I'm going to right click and add keyframe, and then add keyframe there. Then I want to make sure I get the position secure, and then just do that, and then I'll just delete these, highlight them, and then delete. You can't press the delete button on your keyboard, it won't work. You have to go right there for Anime Studio Pro 8. Alright, so I think I have it, and I'll just pull this over here a little more. So now when it repeats, you'll see the animation, but it's too fast for this program to play it back in real time. But what I do want to do is make sure that says walk 1, and I'm just gonna copy this here right into walk 1. And the way you do that is you just click on the animation that you want, and then you just press this insert copy, and it'll save you a ton of time right there. I gotta fix the stance. Let me double click on that. I'll eliminate these keyframes here, and then I'll just go to frame 3 and then frame 30, since it's 60-second, 20 frames per second. The only problem here is I need to have them standing. So rather than mess around with any of this, I'm just going to delete, and then I'll re-keyframe everything, and I'll have his tail move around a little bit. Alright, now that all that is keyframed, don't forget this center pivot. See, if you move it, that's what the center pivot does. It's not fully connected to this little piece here. I don't want to mess with that. That's called a set origin. That's for rotation mostly. although you could rotate it with this. All right, now that all of that is set up, I'll just do the placement right here. And now the middle frame I'll switch up a little bit. So let me have him move down a little, bend his legs a little now because he's moving down. And it'll give him a sense he's flexing his legs. And then move his arms a little bit, move his torso a little, his head, his claws. And then his tail. Now see how that looks. He's moving his legs too far back, so I have to move his torso forward to counter. This way it looks like his feet are planted and he's just moving his upper torso a little bit. And then move that arm a little more. And then I just press play and test it out, and that looks pretty good. Alright, so now I gotta do the tail, and what I'll do is, let's see, so he's here. Now his tail I think would be going up a little bit. So it's moving up, that means this piece has to bend like that. Alright, so what happened there? That means I have to move this up here and then bend that there. Now it makes more sense. And now when his tail is coming back down, I could go like that and bend it, have it flow back down that way. That's why I add those little extra bones in there. This way you get the nice motion of the tail. And then for this, I could just go like maybe like that. I don't necessarily want that exactly the same as the first frame. So let me jump here and keyframe all of this, and then I'll just delete that last one because it's too similar to the first frame. Yeah, that tail's messed up right at the end there. So that part is fine. That part's wrong. That tail, oh, see? Wrong tool. I think there's lag on this because I'm recording, and that stresses out this older computer. Alright, now test it again. The tail should flow. I just gotta make it look a little better than that. I think that'll be better. There we go. That's it. That's what I was looking for. Alright, now that that's done, I'll double click on the walk, and I'm gonna extend this out. So what I'll do is go walk 2 slower. And now you'll really see the full walk because it'll be slow enough. So I'm gonna click on this walk that I already animated, then I'll just do insert copy and just press that while you're on frame 1. It'll pop it right in there. Now to extend it out, I'm just going to go to the second second. So 2 seconds in. And then I'm just going to even all this out here. And it's going to extend the walk really, really nicely. Well, that gives you a better idea. That's what I'm going for. That looks way better than the mess I had at the beginning. And then I'll do a quick animation to show the final result. It took a while, longer, way longer than I thought. But that's it for now. And then what I do is you go to your main line, double click. Now you have this whole timeline freed up. So I do want to save it. And then I'll insert copy right into the main timeline. You got to make sure you press mainline, otherwise you can mess up your actions. And then you could add the walk slower. I have to delete these because they automatically appear. But one thing you could do is just copy and then paste right there. You could loop it if you want, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So let's see how this looks. You could probably just bring this right next to it. And then I'll go into the slow walk right here. Delete that. And then I'll go back into the stand. And you could add all kinds of actions like jump and fall and roll and all kinds of stuff, which is really very, very helpful for saving time for one animator. Alright, so that's a little too close there. So I'll just stretch it out a little. There we go. So we'll just go to frame 240. And that's it. Now I have a set little animation. I won't play it back here because it's going to be all choppy. I'll just render it out. And you just go under export animation, and then it'll say, all right, what do you want to do here? So I like to just go with those two right there, anti-aliased and apply layer effects, and then go from there. Extra smooth images, that's mostly for vector, I think. I never use that. It slows the render time down way too much, and I can't even see a difference. But that's it for now, and then you press OK, and then it asks you where you want to save it, and then the quality of the file. I usually go under photo JPEG or animation if you want. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell icon. And have a great day. Thanks.